All right, here we go. Another episode of CONOVS with KEEGS. That challenge, the 30-day challenge, I'm ending. I didn't get the 30 days. I got to, I want to say day 22 or something, and yeah, a lot has happened since I last recorded a podcast. A lot. Honestly, the last 10 months. I have been pedal to the metal, all gas, no brakes, really, really stressing myself out to a very, very unhealthy point. And my body physically can't do it anymore. How do I word this? I have been physically hurting because of the stress that I put on myself. And I want to address something first before I get into all that. But it kind of, put things into perspective. But watching the Bills game on, I want to say, Monday night, and watching the incident that happened with Damar Hamlin, that shook me, man. And I think it shook a lot of people from all over the world, but especially in Buffalo. And I don't pray often, but I prayed for him, and I continue to pray for him, him and his family, and the Bills. And that was tough to watch. That was really like a very, very big reality check on this life is fucking precious, man. And it can be taken away at any time, So, like I said, I don't pray often, but I've been, even previous to that, I would say since Friday or Saturday, when I've been just going through the ringer in my head and really, really being negative, to myself, and really being hard on myself. Like I said, it's been very unhealthy. It's not good constructive criticism to myself. It's I just not good thoughts that I've been having. And I've been, when I've been here before, obviously every kind of rough patch is different. This one is very career based, and kind of what the fuck am I doing? And I'm trying so hard to keep it together and keep everything working, and trying to do everything and doing my absolute best to make sure that I can just fucking keep the company alive and the goals and dreams that I have alive. Yeah. This will probably be the last podcast I do solo, just because I need to start prioritizing my time. And these podcasts just I don't love them as much as I did before they became extremely stressful. And I don't know, I shouldn't say that it'll be my last one, but I'm definitely going to take a break from solo podcasts, and I'm going to hopefully do more of guest-based, because if you just look at the numbers, if we're looking at it from a business standpoint, as a whole, if we're looking at Lonely Cowboy as a business, people really don't give a fuck about it. There's a few that do, and a few that care about it, and I love you guys very, very much, and I appreciate all of your support, everyone who has supported. And if I could continue doing what I'm doing, exactly how I am, without the stress of money, I would. But there's many, many bills I have to pay, and I've dug myself in a hole to try and keep everything alive and try and do as best I can promote. I've definitely bit off a lot. I don't want to say I bit off more than I can chew, because I know I can do everything. And that's kind of the other frustrating part. It's like, I know I'm capable of all this. It's always, it's cliche, but it's always like, well, if I had this, if I had this, if I had this. And honestly, everyone says like, well, you make do with what you got. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But for what I'm trying to do and at the scale at which I'm trying to do it, I can't do what I want to do right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. I can take some steps back, reevaluate, regroup, move forward in a direction that'll hopefully eliminate some stress that I have and give me a life. Like, I was talking about it to my one buddy on New Year's Eve, like, it feels like I don't have a life. And I absolutely love what I do. My whole life is this company, though, and trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's very unhealthy. There's no other way to spin it, and it's really hard for me to admit that. My body has been in fight or flight. I can feel the stress. I get very anxious. And once those negative thoughts starts rolling in, it's hard to get out of them, man. So I gotta focus on myself a little bit more. I notice myself not being a good enough, not being the best version of myself for my friends, for my family, for the company. Like, I'm doing everyone a disservice by not taking care of myself in the way that I know I'm capable of. So this is this is really tough. I don't know what the future has to hold for Lonely Cowboy and myself. I'm by no means abandoning them. More importantly, I started a GoFundMe for the Lonely Cowboy Scholarship Fund because that is my main goal, and that is my main passion and focus, and is to get those scholarships in schools, and that's most important above everything else to me. And obviously the original goal is, and it still is, Lonely Cowboy donates 10% of our profits into our scholarship fund, but we just don't sell enough. I don't have, for me to give away one scholarship, it would take me fucking forever, and it would, I have to grow at a rapid rate and sell a stupid amount, which isn't impossible, but at this point, there's no possible way for me to do it. And goddamn, yeah, there's no possible way for me to be able to offer the amount of scholarships I do without having that scholarship fund. And I wanted to start the nonprofit before I did that, so everything could roll through the nonprofit. I didn't really want to go through GoFundMe. I'm not a expert on it, but I believe they take out a percentage, and I just didn't want to deal with that. But whatever. It's very easy. Everyone knows how to use it. The money will go to obviously the scholarships, and hopefully we can raise a shit ton of money and just keep knocking them out and offer as many as possible. And in the event that, something ever were to happen to me or to the company, that fund will still be there, and it doesn't matter if I crash and burn or if the company crashes and burns, that fund will always be there. So there is good to it, and I am happy that we started that. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, man. I always preach about mental health and how important it is to take care of yourself. And I just simply was not doing it to the best of. I was in a weird mental space. just was not being kind to myself. I put way too much pressure on myself. And you know what I realized? I put way too much weight on things. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing, but I get really frustrated. Like, I don't understand why. Well, I do know why, but there's nothing I can do. Like, it's a weird balance between work that you don't want to do and work that that's a bad way to describe it. Right now I'm in a position where I have to really value my time and how I spend my time. Okay. So, like, I know how to promote a company. Let's just say, if I was a creative director for a company and I was on a salary and there was a marketing budget, I would fucking murder that job. Like, I know what to do. I know all the pieces of the puzzle to get there. If I had an unlimited budget, not even unlimited, if I had 30 grand to bang out the next year's worth of collaborations and podcasts and everything, like, there's no doubt in my mind we wouldn't make that back tenfold, but there's just no way for me to do what I believe in my head is the best thing long term. And that's making the podcast high production and having guests on and having that on a routine set schedule every week, making that like a show, really promoting that as much as I can. And then when it comes to tattoo artist collabs, maybe we do once a month and we do a full-blown photo shoot, but that costs like inventory for the shirts, that's time for everything else, and then the social media aspect of it. There's just so much that goes into one thing, and trying to make everyone happy is very difficult. That's another thing I realize is I can't make everybody happy, and I can't put people before myself. As much as I tend to be a people pleaser, I have to stop. Which it does hurt. Yeah, I don't know how to deal with that. It's weird. I don't really know. I'm in a weird spot, man. I don't fucking know how to navigate these waters, because I know in my head that I have a lot of good ideas and I know that they will work, and eventually they will. They're just going to take way more time than I anticipated. It's not a bad thing, but it's frustrating because I know that, like, I can see how this plays out in a year if I had a different situation. The issue is, like, shit moves so fast with, especially in a clothing brand and on the internet, and people's attention is so fucking small. Like, if there's any little inkling of fucking up and slacking off, people's attention's gone. So how do you eliminate that? You do it with a consistent formula. In my case, it would be a guest-based podcast, high production, turn it into a show, make it legit, make it beneficial for both the guest and the company. Sponsor it by Lonely Cowboy. Promote the balls out of the scholarship fund. Like, that is a lock, and I need to make that happen as soon as possible. I am confident in my ability as a podcast host to do that. It's much easier to have a lot of episodes under your belt and then kind of go into the high production realm. A lot of people tell me, like, well, you can't do that right now because you don't have the funds. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, I can't. But that's what's gonna work. Like, this isn't if we're being honest, if you just look at the numbers on all the solo podcasts I do, they're not high. And that's fine. I don't care about that. But from CEO Kellen's point of view and business Kellen's point of view, I need to make money, and I'm spending so much time on these podcasts. So much time on making sure that the collaborations go smoothly, and like trying to make sure that I'm going to be able to survive, and then going to different jobs and doing this, and that, and trying to just manage so many fucking things. Way too many things. Way too many. I'm slacking in areas where I don't want to slack. Or I should say, like in the podcast specifically, I'm not able to give that 100% of myself because I have all the plethora of other things that need to get done and need my attention. That's why I always say, like, I want to hire a social media manager as soon as possible. The minute I can get off social media, I will turn into a different human. If I had a social media manager, I would delete every social media on my phone. I would never check it, ever. I would be off of social media. There's no part of me that wants to be on it. And I know that. I know that in my soul. Like, I do not want to be engaged on it. I want to promote my art for myself there. I want to promote Lonely Cowboy, and I want to promote the podcast. I have no interest in doing anything else with it. I don't even want my personal life on there. Like, I'm just sick of the fucking world. I'm sick of a lot of things. I'm very, 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 very grateful for my health and my ability to do everything that I'm doing, no matter how difficult situations may get or how difficult life may get. I am extremely grateful that I am here today, healthy. Things could be a lot fucking worse. And I'm slowly getting out of a really bad mental state. Like, this was one of my lowest. And I didn't really tell anybody. And I really hid it. I'm very good at hiding. But I could feel it in my body, in my head. I'm still not 100% back to what I want to be at. Yeah. Physically, like I said, it's easier to recognize now that I've been through some pretty tough situations. But I could feel my muscles really tense, and I wasn't able to relax. Sleep was awful. Like, thoughts were awful. Just not enjoying anything, and really, really struggling with what I wanted, how I wanted to go about the next whatever just my career in general. I was really frustrated, and I'm still frustrated, man. Like, I'm moving way quicker than people tell me. I'm moving faster than I should be, and that pisses me off, because it could be true. It probably is true. But what comes from that is so much greater than what I'm sacrificing now. And I've sacrificed all my money. I've sacrificed my social life. I've sacrificed a relationship with a girl that was amazing. I sacrificed time with my family. I sacrificed literally, I've given everything, every ounce of me to this. And there's a lot of pros to that. There are so many cons to it, though. And it's taken me this long to kind of realize, like, there's so much more to life than a job. And that's what this is. There's another part of me, though, that keeps telling me in my head, like, yo, don't fucking ever quit, because you know how important this is, and even if no one else sees it, eventually people will understand how important it is. So it's a weird kind of dilemma I'm at in my head. But I'm at a point where I have no choice but to kind of surrender and do my best to be a human again, and be a good friend and a good family member, and kind of try and build my life personally to Kellen and not build Lonely Cowboy. I just don't like, it feels selfish, and I don't like that. It feels like I'm not doing enough, and I'm not, like, I just don't like knowing that I could be working harder. And I guess that's a thing that I need to figure out. I need to get back into therapy. I gotta do that soon. But yeah, man, shit's been tough. But I like I said, I'm slowly getting out of it. I don't know what the future has to hold. I don't really know how the next few months are gonna play out. I have a bunch of, there's tattoo artist collabs planned and scheduled, and there's the Mad Rabbit thing. That's a whole project, and there's a lot of good coming in the future. I don't know how everything else will play out. I'm gonna do my best to keep everything as intact as I possibly can, and hopefully get myself in a better position, building my life and not necessarily the company's life, and thinking about me first before the company, because I've given too much of myself away. I've lost myself in this process. Is it worth it? I don't know. I think so. I don't know. It's really, I'm in a very, very odd situation, because the weight of my stress, the only way for me to justify the amount of stress I put on myself is if the weight of the impact I make is greater. And I really do think it is. So I just allow myself to kind of hold the weight of that stress as well, because I feel like the impact I could have is much greater, and there's more value in that than the stress. But, I can't have both. I mean, I can eventually. Right now, though, it's just doing my best. I'm doing my best. I don't even know how to. I just don't know what the future looks like. Lonely Cowboy is not going anywhere, though. The scholarship fund hopefully will allow me to offer more scholarships, because that's the most important goal, and I don't care about anything else. If everything else goes away and that stays, I'll be happy. I gotta build my life back, though. I gotta take care of myself, can think about my future and what I want that to look like, and be there for myself more than I have been, and listen to myself. Whenever I don't listen to myself, I feel like I'm just, that's when I'm fucked up, is when I know what I have to do, but I don't do it. So, man, I could go on about this forever, but I feel like I'm getting kind of repetitive. So, anyways, this will probably be I'm not continuing the challenge, because I need to focus on very, very important things right now, and not anything else besides those very important things. That challenge is really not that important if I'm looking at it from the grand scheme of things. I want to do podcasts with guests and learn from them, and provide a new point of view to you guys, and to myself. There's guest-based podcasts for me are way better. I enjoy them way more, and I'm starting to not enjoy these solos. So this might be the last one for a bit. Hopefully I'll be able to schedule some more guests out. Be on the lookout for new tattoo artist collabs coming up. And as always, I thank you guys so much. Without you, none of this would be possible. Let's pray to God and hope I can keep it alive. But actually, I have been getting this little anecdote. I have been more spiritual, and I definitely feel like, I do believe in something. I don't know what it is. I call it God, but it's not a God of any particular religion or belief. It is just my God, my higher being, whatever is helping guide me in life. And I do want to get more in tune with that and allow, the universe to kind of do its thing. And it does help. It really does. And, I'm going to continue to pray for Damar Hamlin because, man, that shit that fucked me up, man. And, I'm praying for him, his family, and the Bills, everyone in the organization, the city of Buffalo, anyone who is struggling with mental health, man, I'm praying for you. We can get through it. We can get through anything. We just gotta, keep pushing, and shit gets hard. Trust me, I'm in it right now. I am in a very, very difficult spot. But, if I could give any advice from my situation, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, because I've done that, and I still continue to do it, and it is very bad. It's not good. It's not healthy. So, thank you guys again. I don't even know what episode this is. I think 71. Let's go with that. Have a good one. Peace.